Trump supporters, Harris supporters, or those who just don't give a shit about anything are the most interesting commenters, I will admit. They really are. I think these people do not understand social cues. They don't understand that you can hate both parties. You could actually look at what's going on in the world objectively and realize this is fucked up. But no, they don't have anything of substance to say. They will always say some of the most childish nonsense. Oh, you're so angry. Yeah, I am. But I'm angry for the right reasons. I'm actually angry at injustices. While you people are angry because a marginalized person is more prevalent. A marginalized person has a little bit of power in society. You're angry over the stupidest shit like, oh, this show or this movie or this comic has LGBTQ characters or black characters. You're angry about the most meaningless shit that doesn't impact people's lives. Yet, God forbid, I look at injustices in society. I look at a genocide still being carried on, live, mind you. And those who had a meltdown over Kamala Harris losing the election, rather than reflect why she lost, you've people revealed your true nature. Trump supporters, they're easy to criticize because Trump supporters are narcissistic, degenerate scum. They are. But at the very least, they're honest. They're honest about their degeneracy. They're honest about how they don't give a damn about other people. They don't care if the world burns. They don't care that other cultures are being destroyed by this degenerate fucking state. But Harris supporters, they act like they're all superior. Even though there's barely any Harris supporters, let's be real with ourselves. People who voted for Harris did not vote for her. They voted against Trump. But of course, those who comment on my channel are too stupid, are so uneducated, won't even do any research of for themselves to even come to their own conclusions. They just listen to somebody else, or they don't do anything because they're more interested in consumption. Because that's what Americans are. Their priorities are. They want to consume. They don't like it when somebody bursts that bubble or makes it smaller and smaller. That's the whole fucking reason why there's such a freaking backlash for the past decade or so over entertainment supposedly not being escapist anymore. It's because it's hard to escape. And Americans want to continue to consume. They don't actually want to fight to make their world better. In fact, they would rather just continue to consume stuff on Netflix or consume whatever streaming platform they have. They'd rather do that than actually fight for change. And those who do want to see the world better, who are protesting in the streets, that are telling this government to stop arming a genocide, they are slandered. They're considered lunatics. They're considered unhinged. Yeah, you know what I consider unhinged? I think is defending a genocide and showing indifference towards it. And when your genocidal candidate loses, you show your true nature. Like some of these Kamala Harris supporters gleefully talking about, I hope Israel turns Gaza into a parking lot, and mocking the suffering of Palestinians. Because God forbid, Hitler lost. Trump supporters, they're pieces of shit. But they'll suffer the consequences of their choices. They will. And you know what? That's another thing I'm going to bring up. When I push my beliefs about accountability and personal responsibility, not the fucking horse shit that neoconservatives and neoliberals push, I get pushback. Because at the end of the day, Americans don't like the idea of being responsible for themselves and their actions, every action they make having a consequence. They don't want to suffer the consequences of their actions. And I'm not a spiritual guy, mind you. I'm not even religious, but I do believe what's happening right now is divine punishment. Because America has destroyed the world. America has gone around, destroyed culture after culture, has done what the British used to do, of course still does, goes and the third world countries and set the people over there against each other and colonize them, constantly causes conflict. Like, this country cannot go 1 decade without a war. Like, America is a warlike country and it's a warlike society. Like, the things that the British did, and like, think about it. This country inspired the Nazis. Like, the very fact is, why hasn't Germany been denazified? It's because America has never been denazified. This country is a Nazi-like country and always has been. And being angry about the lies that I've been fed as a child and waking up to them, if that is a negative, then you know what? That says a lot about you. And you know what? This just brings up the point about Jason Unruh when he talks about Americans. Well, the people, first world, but I'm talking about Americans in this context, will choose fascism over revolution. Because the Trump presidency, the second one, is proof of that. Americans would rather have fascism because Americans, they think they're better than the rest of the world. They think they're better than everyone else. But the thing about Americans, most Americans have never actually seen the states outside of the state they were born. Most Americans have never left their state. Most Americans have never even left their hometown. Americans have no idea what the rest of the world looks like, or even their own country. There's people who constantly talk about California like they know the fucking culture there, yet they don't know a goddamn thing about this state. Most people who talk bad about California, mind you, California is a fucking shithole, and I will say that, because I actually live here and I have a right to say that. California has a bunch of different cultures here. Cultures that you would not find in other states. Just like if I were to go to Washington, Oregon, or Arizona. Like, most Americans don't even know what the fucking other fucking state even looks like in terms of its culture, because Americans are so isolated from the world and each other. And you know what? America, being as divided as it is, it was inevitable. With the contradictions like continuing to mount up, what's going to destroy America will be America itself, because America is its own worst enemy. Americans themselves hate each other. Americans themselves kill each other more than any other population on the planet. We have a degenerate society that glorifies violence over anything else, and hate, where you have people from one side of the country demonizing the other side of the people of the country. It's inevitable that this country is going to frickin' destroy itself through violence. And I do feel like it will be justice for the world when that happens, because Americans have destroyed the world, and Americans feel entitled. They think the whole world owes them something. No. The world doesn't owe you shit. But I'm American, you're asking. Am I? Am I really American? Yes, I was born here. I can't control where I was born. But does that make me American? Because I feel like to be an American, you have to embrace what America is, ideologically. And if you're ideologically opposed to what America stands for, does that really make you American at all? Because I don't think it does. Whether you voted for Trump or Harris, it doesn't matter. It still continues the empire. The empire manager, instead of it being Kamala Harris, it's Trump. Trump supporters, those who foolishly believe that Trump is anti-war, are in for a rude awakening because Trump is not anti-war. He's a warmonger, just like everybody else in freaking Washington. He's incompetent compared to Kamala Harris. This whole election was mask off. That this country is a oligarchy. Yet Americans are still more concerned with the most meaningless shit. I think Americans do deserve what's coming to them. They deserve it because Americans themselves don't give a fuck about anyone. Not even each other. When America collapses, and it will, because all empires fall, we'll just hope it doesn't take the whole fucking planet with it. The communities that are going to survive